Hi y'all, Kelly from Broken Carnivore. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I've been carnivore for 330 days and I'm starting to feel younger. I'm starting to feel a lot better. I'm starting to move around. So I've been on Facebook the other day and I was thumbing through and I found a recipe for carnivore bread. I haven't had bread since I've been carnivore. That's one thing I do miss. I don't miss the side effects. I don't miss the chronic inflammation it causes, all the seed oils, all the poisons is in it, but I do miss the bread. So I found this recipe on Facebook and I don't know where this recipe's from. I don't know if it belonged to Courtney Luna or it was Chris Cooking Nashville or someone else come up with it. But I want to give it a try. This recipe has two different versions. There's a dairy version and there's a dairy-free version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link the description of both recipes if you want to give it a try. I'm doing the dairy-free version, which it replaces the cottage cheese with 2 extra cups of pork panko, and you can use beef tallow instead of butter. But I'm going to use butter because I like the flavor of butter and it gives it a good flavor. So let's get started. We got 4 cups of pork panko. We got 12 eggs already cracked, ready to go. I prefer I prefer the pasture-raised eggs, but if you're on a budget, regular store-bought eggs are due. These are store-bought eggs. And then I got 1 stick or 8 tablespoons of butter. I prefer the grass-fed, like Kerrygold butter or the Kerrygold version at Aldi. But you can, if you're on a budget, you can use the regular butter. So we're going to preheat the oven for 375. We're going to mix all the ingredients together. You can do it in a bowl, hand mix it. You can use a hand power mixer. You can use a KitchenAid mixer. You can use like the Ninja blender. I don't have a Ninja blender because that's probably the best way to get it mixed evenly. But I'm going to use my food processor. So we're going to mix all the ingredients together. Gotta be careful, I'm making a mess here. And the one thing about pork panko, you can buy the pork panko or you can actually get pork rinds and you can grind them up, but just make sure that you get all the hard pieces out of there because they don't grind up very well. We're going to do a little pulsating here before we do the mix, get it all evenly mixed. And then we're going to get it thoroughly mixed. Now since we got it thoroughly mixed, take your 9x5 loaf pan. You can either grease it heavy or you can line it with parchment paper. My preference is I like to take the parchment paper, cut it where it will fit in there, and I like to take tallow and I like to grease the pan so the actual parchment paper actually sticks in there better. You can do whatever works best for you, but this is how I do it, and it might help you if you're having trouble to keep the parchment paper in there and keep it lined so you can have that nice evenly looking loaf of bread. So we're going to take the mixture and we are going to pour it evenly into the pan because we want to make sure we get it all out. Now, I never had this bread before, and I don't know if it's going to taste like pork rinds or if it's going to taste like bread. If you come across this video and you watch it and you had it before, comment down below that how you thought it tastes, and when it's done, I'm going to give it a taste and see how I like it. And I'll give you a thumbs up or thumbs down if this recipe is worth saving. There we go. I want to kind of get it evenly spread out. It is a little sticky, so it's not going to be perfect, but I know as it bakes, it'll melt and rise and whatever it's going to do its bread thing here. Alright, I'm going to put it in the oven behind. We're going to bake it at 375 for 60 minutes, or use a toothpick until the toothpick comes clear. Alright, we'll be back in 60 minutes or a little after, and we're going to see what this bread is like. The bread is finished. I am ready to give it a taste test to see if I like this recipe or not. So let's cut into it, and I'm going to give it a taste test. I also have some of this Kerrygold butter right here. I'm going to put a little bit of that on there to give it a little extra butter because I love butter. Butter is one of my go-to foods. Well, the texture actually looks like bread. It's a little warm still. I should have let it go all the way down to room temperature, but we can always try that. But yeah, I'm gonna show it to you. It has a little bit of that bread texture, so let's put a little bit of butter on there. Well, as me, I'll put a whole lot of butter. I love butter. It's not bad. It's kind of like a cakey. Of course, it's high protein, got a lot of eggs, pork panko. I don't really taste the panko in it. I don't know if the dairy version would be even better, but I do like it, and I'll make this again. It's very tasty. I give it a thumbs up. I might try the dairy one later and see how it is and see if it's a little better, but I do really like this. And this actually gives an alternative to the bread, and even though it's all protein, 0 carbs, you still feel like you're having bread. And that's one thing about carnivore. If you're on there for a while, the main thing is to keep it simple. But if you want to have that alternatives, look up different recipes, and I will definitely link this description of this recipe, both the dairy and the dairy free, down in the description below. So I'm going to wrap this video up to Psalms 90:12. I'm going to read in the Holman Christian Standard Bible. This might be the same as ESV, but you can follow along whatever translation you have. And it says, "Teach us to number our days carefully, so that we may develop wisdom in our hearts." I feel that's so true. If you feel that this video, or you really enjoyed this video, and you think it or feel that it was helpful, useful, please give a thumbs up to it, and also comment down below. Even if you just come by to say hi, the more comments, the more likes, YouTube will get this content out to other viewers. And likewise, also if you want to support this channel, I will link that description down below. Buy me a coffee. It's not for me, it's to help support and grow this channel. The more support we can get, and the more the awareness of getting the proper human diet out there to others, it will be amazing if we can get this out there to other people, so they know the awareness of what the food system today is like you go into the grocery store and buying food off the shelves, and what's versus a good proper human diet that's ancestral based, that we've been eating ever since the beginning of time when God created the first humans. As always, let's be kind, be positive, have a good attitude, and encourage and support one another. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy.